Different chats from 2022 to 2024. What do you think about this? If it's real, it's just a big portal. It depends on what frequencies that photo was taken at. To me, that's too big. And you see stars or galaxies inside. If it came from NASA, then it's not real. Most likely not. It's part of their agenda to push the idea that there is a tremendous solar flare coming. They're on it now. The Earth is not threatened by the Sun. That is part of their agenda. Nothing is happening to the Sun. If any of those things happen, it is of artificial and intentional origin, and they will blame it on the Sun, all to impose their agendas. Another chat. Yazhi, someone left me this question. I have to question some presented info about everything is okay with Sun as not quite right. For thousands of years, our Sun was golden yellow, warm in color. Somewhere around 2012, it started to brighten up, until now, where it looks like a glowing white LED lamp. Evidence is everywhere. Pictures, videos, old paintings. Before, you could easily look at the Sun at any hour. Now, intensity of radiation is high, you can feel it on the skin, burning sensation even in winter season. Oh wow, he got me. I shouldn't be talking about science subjects. I didn't know there was so much evidence. I am terribly sorry. I feel so bad, I think I better quit. I see humans are very well informed. I think I should go check places like NASA, Wikipedia and CNN and fact check before daring to say something. The Sun goes through its natural cycles. They are using those now to promote more fear and more chaos. I've got news for you, whoever you are. The Sun has always been white. It's the atmosphere that changes your perception. The Sun is not a light bulb. It is a dynamic, living thing. It is never exactly the same. It may increase volume, power radiation, and the Cabal will say that if it continues in that direction, it will. But it will return to normal as it always does. As we said before, there is nothing wrong with the Sun, just more fear-mongering. So, there are changes in the atmosphere than changing the Sun appearance. There can be, and that would be normal. But from here, we see nothing happening. What changes color is the lens they are looking at it with all the chemtrailing. What would be expected to start with? A lot depends on atmospheric conditions as well. In space, from space, the Sun looks white all the time. The yellow light comes from the atmosphere filtering the white light. Another chat. Question from someone about those galaxy arms waves that spin, the cosmic waves. How is it possible that we would feel those waves' energy reaching us if they turn super slow? These are galaxy arms. Their movement must be super slow for us. The heavy ones turn slow. When there is more mass, they turn very slow. When there is more gravity and less mass, more in the astral, because there is no frontier between astral and not astral, then they are very fast. That would be thinking only in the material world. Particles move very fast, and hard matter follows slower in the same direction. The higher the frequency of the energy wave, the faster it travels. Some are even above light speed, because they are etheric energy waves. It's a whole gamma, or threshold of them. The frequency of each wave will affect one or another person or thing when they are compatible in frequencies, vibration, to the point where they may affect one person but not another, depending on its vibration. Okay, you said when there is more mass, they move slower. But if the mass is in the astral too, since it's all astral, why do they move slower? Why should that matter to the astral? That is as seen only from the perception of someone living in the material side. Perception, being that yes, everything is astral. Astral waves are not usually noticed, but they come with others not so astral. For example, those particle space storms. Sometimes they are not only particles, they may also bring sand and gravel. Those you call not so astral, it's only from the point of view of us living in the material world, no? Since there is nothing, no astral. Yes, because in the absolute, everything is astral. Everything is one mass, one range of vibration frequencies. And each consciousness can only see whatever is in its range of perception. And that depends on its thoughts and emotions. So your follower who asked the question is only seeing the galaxy arms from the 3D matrix point of view, where those are the only observable things. Therefore, the things that are real from that point of view. But there is a lot more going on there among and with those arms. Another chat. Someone sent me this question. Would it be possible for you to cover quasi-particles, waves, coming from the sun versus consciousness link? Faster than light, if non-locally entangled with it. Size similar as tau neutrino. No recognition from Earth official science. Open system physics. Are they important for a creation of light, rainbow body? I can explain that in a totally different way, not meaning nor wanting to discredit that form of interpretation. Those particles behave like light because they are a wavelength of light. So they are both a particle and a wave. But there is one essential thing that creates everything, including every particle and wave at the same time, being one and the same in the end. I mean that all particles are waves, not only light. In the end, there are no particles. There are only waves of energy behaving as a particle because of precise harmonics. And that essential wave is potential energy, and it is nothing other than gravity. Tau neutrinos are gravity compressed into a single point where you have attention on, but they are gravity. Just set as something different as their specific wavelengths are observed. But then again, this is yet another case of labeling parts of the same thing to ease its study and comprehension. That same thing is a flow in consciousness, gravity again. Those wavelengths of gravity, those gravity waves, are received by the sun and re-emitted as a way station, because the sun copies what it receives, as all bodies do, be it a body of a star or the body of a person, a plant, a rock, anything you may call material. So, the center of the galaxy will emit a certain high-frequency wavelength in a spiral form, being it part of the same energy that holds and creates the galaxy in the first place, more of the same fabric that created it, and it is in the form of gravity. So, all objects that emit radiation, especially suns, that are so good at it and do little to nothing more than emit radiation, will copy the frequency gravity wave or signal from the center of the galaxy, simply because it must follow and obey the basic principle of dominant frequency, meaning that all things under a strong energy influence will tend to equalize frequencies and become more of the same. The same way, a sun copies and re-emits a certain frequency it has received by means of the principle of dominant frequency. So does everything else, including people. So this radiation coming from the sun will tend to harmonize and equalize the dominating or overall frequency of the human body. This is what I interpret people as saying it activates the rainbow body. Rainbow as in multiple frequency. This is also why the sun activates human DNA. And in reactivating it, using the dominant frequency principle, it is said it will return it to its original 12-strand, 24-chromosome patterns, or 5D body. Light from the sun is repeating the light and radiation energy gravity pattern of the entire galaxy, resolving and returning everything it touches to its original frequency range and matrix. And that is Ascension explained in terms of frequency. Yet, not as fast as people think, because although it is immersing the entire planet in that galactic high frequency which the sun is retransmitting, the Earth is inside a frequency bubble that, although it does get affected and logically also elevated, it takes some time as seen from the temporal perception of someone on Earth. So yes, what the sun emits is helping to elevate the planet, but it has to affect all the beings with the consciousness that are making and generating the matrix there as a sub-product of their own mind. Those vibrations coming from the galaxy itself are not new. They have always been hitting the Earth, and it hasn't changed yet for the positive, because that vibration is consciousness, and no one consciousness can change another, as it must evolve and change on its own. That galactic vibration is wonderful, but it's not new, I insist. It is only taking the horse to the river, offering it water, but it cannot force it to drink if it doesn't want to. No matter how powerful it is, it cannot change anyone if that other person does not want to change. It still must work through people with their own stubborn thoughts and ideas. So, elevating the Earth's vibration into a Dolores Cannon-like new Earth does not depend on external factors like high-frequency solar pulses, as it will only depend on the consciousness level and on the willingness to evolve of each person. If people still ask about this, it just makes me see that they are still thinking and expecting that someone will come and fix their problems, when only they can. Those waves and radiation do help people who want to evolve to a higher plane of consciousness, so it is a good time to meditate. But only the owner can permanently change his or her DNA. Talking about the sun though and how it helps to elevate us, are the people from Northern Hemisphere missing out then? Unfortunately, yes. They do suffer a disconnection, and that explains many things like depression in wintertime and other mental disorders occurring during wintertime. But do not worry, because your body does remember and hold the frequency on its own. But it does crave sunlight.